Hello teacups, it's been quite the week. In my real life, work went mad, just insane. Everything got moved up by a couple of weeks because they shifted the exam week. I have had comments I've still got to write. I've been working 15-hour days trying to produce the content for the review weeks and for the normal deadlines that have now all been shifted. And I have not had time to be following Chantal, who has also been putting out reams of footage this week. I reacted to her Candy Live, I want to say 4 or 5 days ago, 4 maybe, 5 maybe, I can't remember exactly when, we're in different time zones. But since then, you guys, I don't even have coffee today, I have a gin and tonic. This is a rhubarb and ginger gin and botanical tonic, it's delicious. This is where we are with life. Since last talking to you, my friends, we have had, I want to say 7 videos. Let's see, the Eugenia Cooney line, we've had the late dinner, which was in 2 parts because of internet problems and the fact that she had her pizza delivered to the wrong place and she had to stop. We've had the taco pre-recorded, the exercise video, her beezing live, which went on for 3 hours, the live lunch, which I was going to react to today because I was like, a little bit of a haul, a little bit of makeup, something a little bit light. Nah, because I woke up and she was already live. I was like, oh Jesus. So we're going to be reacting to her new live today. I have a surprise. Spoiler alert, the surprise is the boxes finally got moved. But she talks about some other interesting stuff as well, so that's what we're going to do a full react to. However, I say a full react, I have chopped a chunk out of the middle where she's just deciding what to eat, greeting people and talking about some show on TV I've never heard of, or some show on Netflix or something. So we will take that out of the middle because it's a 2-hour live and I can't. So I'm just going to recap my thoughts on the lives first and then we'll go into the react after that. I don't actually have a lot to say about these reacts because about these videos and lives, because for all there were a lot of them and they were very long, they actually contained very little content. So I'm just going to go through them quickly. The first live, Eugenia, I found that live very difficult to take seriously. And even though it contained some very serious issues, because all I could see was her massively deflecting from the candy video she had done that was getting quite a lot of backlash. Now, she has made videos using Eugenia's name in the title before. She did it once before. I went back to check it because I wanted to see how the 2 videos correlated, and that video has been privated. I don't know when she privated that video. I don't know if she did it soon after she posted it or if it's a new thing. Last week, when she was doing all her rage live streams, there seemed to be less rage this week. Purposefully so, I think, but less rage. This was very much a trying to clean up things kind of a week. And I'm not sure if she had pulled the same as she did before she raged last week when she wiped a load of her videos and then was like, I've never made videos like that, go find them. And actually, if you go back far enough, you find them because she's lazy and she doesn't go all the way back in her video history. But she had wiped the more recent ones so people couldn't argue with her. I had trouble taking it seriously. I think she got a lot of backlash for the Candyland video. And this was a very clear shift to try and place the outrage somewhere else. So she picked a topic she thought people would be outraged at. She picked a topic she wanted people to respond with because she wanted them to forget the other stuff. So in the moments when she was like, oh, well, that's just how I feel, in that kind of come at me, bro, sort of well, that's just my feelings, then it seemed very obvious to me what she was trying to do. Yeah, I don't think, aside from the general sense, as she does say she watches her videos, so maybe she's a bit more invested than someone like me who doesn't watch Eugenia's videos. But in the sense of you see her and you go, oh, I hope she gets some help. I don't think Foodie is that invested. I think it's just a case of she's always going back to this argument of society as a whole has an issue with me as an overweight, morbidly obese person, And therefore that justifies, well, it doesn't justify, but that is the root cause of all the hate I get online. She's very eager to absolve herself and her personal actions of the responsibility of the production of the hate. That was a bit of a weird way to say that. Apologies. So I think this was just that. It was like, let's shift the outrage away from my candy video, which was obviously not a good idea for me. And let's just shift it to here. Come and have a fight with me about this because, you know, people are so unfair and it's a wider issue with society as a whole. Let me take the personal responsibility off of me. And that's how I read that entire video, to be completely honest. It's just her trying to link up with a bigger name and say, no, we're the same. And I don't think their channels correlate as strongly as she thinks they do. And I don't think that a lot of the hate Foodie gets is in a response to a wider societal issue. I think there is an element of people come to laugh at fat people. I think that exists in all society. But I think a lot of her personal actions are problematic, and that's where a lot of the hate she gets is generated from. Anyway, one small thing. She did at one point make a reference about clout chaser. She's like, well, there are a lot of clout chasers. Maybe that's why the petition is people just trying to use her name. While she sits there in a video with the name in the title. I was just like, oh, honey, self-awareness, please. Live 2, we really didn't get a lot of information except prior to the Eugenia live, she had taken some time off. She had claimed that her grandmother wasn't doing very well, which I totally believe. But she also slipped out later that she had had some medical issues and she had gone to urgent care. There was potential vasculitis. The urgent care guy said, go to the ER. And if we work back, the timing seems to correlate with when she took some time off. So 100% could have been her grandma, 100% could have been her medical issues. She's claiming grandma. We'll stick with it because I don't know her life. But it seems she had some medical issues herself. But the second live, the dinner live, she said she didn't go to the ER, essentially because there were no comfortable chairs. It was going to be an uncomfortable wait. And I'm like, bitch, it's the ER. Comfort is not their primary concern. I understand that COVID makes it a high-risk area, but if someone from urgent care is telling you you need to go to the ER, go to the sodding ER. Yeah? You're not a doctor. I'm not a doctor. You're not a doctor. The urgent care guy is a medical professional. Go and get that shit checked out. And if you're uncomfortable, be aware that, you know, it's not designed to be a comfortable place. The point is, if it's an emergency, you need the help more than you care about the comfort. Yeah? So she was basically saying she made an appointment with her doctor, and if the doctor said go to the ER, she would. I do think she abuses the ER quite a lot. However, in this case, I would say if she was advised to go, just go. We don't hear anything about it yet because that was filmed before the doctor. The rest of the live didn't say much. She let Pete do most of the talking, which is my favourite thing, while she did most of the eating. The pizza she was supposed to have delivered, she sent to her uncle's. Apparently she left the address in her food delivery app, which was a bit weird because she made the point that she was trying to look for food and the food delivery app wouldn't deliver to her uncle's, which is why she didn't get any. And then I'm like, so how did the pizza get there? Clearly someone delivers to your uncle's, but whatever, it's not that important. Don't know if the camera's picking up the noise downstairs. Someone's on a play date. It's very loud. Then we went into the pre-recorded taco live. Frankly, there was nothing of note. She talked about the food for most of it. It was a very much influencer presenter. You know, the two Chantals. This was very much the other one, where she was just focusing on the tacos. She had done her hair and makeup. She put a board up. She did a little intro saying she was going to make us hungry. She got to the point at the end, she ate a massive portion of food and then there was a lot of food left. She was like, oh no, I'm done, I'm satisfied. So it was very much her trying to give the image of being one of those YouTube girls and being a vlogger and an influencer and just happening to do mukbangs and look, she's completely in control. This was then continued with her next video that was posted quite soon after called Exercise With Me. I'm sure a lot of you have watched that video. She was wearing the same makeup. She had just taken her false eyelashes off. And she was wearing a pair of tights, it looked like. Might have been leggings, might have been tights, looked like tights. And a sort of bra top. But this felt a little bit like... Did any of you used to watch, what was it? I want to say it was The Vampire Diaries, something like that. But, oh, no, the originals, one of the spin-offs. They did a backdoor pilot at one point, and this felt like a backdoor pilot for OnlyFans. TV shows sometimes will do episodes to see how, like as part of an established series, to see how audiences will react to a certain premise. And then that's the backdoor pilot, and they go and they make the other show if it goes in a really popular way. There was one in the originals that was kind of setting up like 5 families, a bit like the mafia in the supernatural world, whatever. It's been a while since I've watched it, you guys. But this felt like that. Because people have been blowing smoke up our ass about getting an OnlyFans. We will discuss it because, speaking of spoiler alerts and surprises, in the main react. But the OnlyFans thing has been around for a while, the idea of it. And this feels like she was just seeing how it would go and how she would feel doing it. So I have some thoughts about OnlyFans and her. We'll get into those later. I might actually end up separating this video as a quick recap before we do that one. Because it's getting on a bit, because I said I would be quick. And it was a lie. It's always a lie. So aside from that, in terms of the exercise, it's good to see her doing exercise. If I thought this was the beginning in a series, I'd be super happy because I think any movement she gets, I'm not here to hate about how much she did because, again, we've seen very clearly that basic movement is extremely hard for her. So I do believe the whole point of exercise is to challenge yourself. And I do believe the amount of exercise she did was a challenge. There was a thing that I'm going to see if I can put maybe a picture up. So we didn't see the breaks she took. She edited them out. She had this little montaging. And we saw at the very end when she was on the ball, her slowing down and getting to kind of the end of things. At the end of the video, she does say that she did 2.5, maybe 3 songs. So we saw about 7.5, 8 minutes of footage. So we basically saw that in real time. And when she's slowing down on the exercise ball, I believe that's the end of how much she did, because otherwise she would have put it in the video. And her face is flushed, but Chantal isn't an overly sweaty person. Yeah, she's not. She's not one of the people who are necessarily like that. We do see her sometimes. In the beginning of, is it the next video? She's quite sweaty. She's obviously been moving around a lot. And when she's like come out of the grocery stores in the summer, and we've seen it. Remember when she was doing the vibrational foods and that guy was apparently flirting with her and she was just in her car like, and she was bright red? Yes, then we see her looking a bit worse for wear. But in that video, she's made up, she's a little flushed, but she's not massively sweaty. And then she comes to the camera and she's got a perfectly placed piece of sweat right here and here. And I'm a little bit sus. I might be being entirely unfair. Like, she doesn't need to show it, but she literally stood with the camera there and showed it and then kind of went around. Maybe it was real sweat, but it seemed a little bit too perfectly placed and the water bottle was right there. That's all I'm saying. I could be being completely unfair. Like I said, I'm happy that she did it, but I think she was so aware of how she looked in that video. Like, it had 2 purposes. It had the OnlyFans kind of hidden premiere element to it, but also she tries really hard to cultivate this idea that I am fat and I am happy and fuck your beauty standards and I'm amazing and look, I'm going to exercise and I have the confidence. She tries hard to project confidence, but then she shoots herself in the foot every time because then you get her lives, you get her rants, you see she's got a paper thin skin. And a lot of the videos actually this week, she was saying to her mods, oh, don't block them too hard. You know, if they're racist or have hate speech. And I was like, well, you would know what that sounds like, wouldn't you? But if, you know, they have any really problematic language, let's say, then that's something different. But, you know, otherwise don't go too bad. And then she took some of her mods away during her live lunch. She said, I cleared some of my mods because she'd been having a lot of problems. She had so many mods, they were just deleting every comment pretty much. And she ended up remodding some of the newer ones, and I don't know. But so she's trying to kind of rehabilitate her image right now, and I don't know how successful she's going to be, but there's clearly a thread there. Then we go on to the live lunch. That was the one I was going to react to, and now too many hours. Oh no, she did have a Beezing live where she committed some crimes against cookies. I have not watched all of that one, hands up, sorry. I got to the point in my work week where I was like, I cannot handle more Chantal right now. I don't have 3 hours to watch her. I don't think there was anything massively important in it other than I did see parts of it going in and out of a live stream of another reactor. And she did say that she'd spoken to her doctor, and her regular doctor doesn't think it's vasculitis. She thinks it's some skin condition that I can't remember the name of. She wants her to go have a skin biopsy. I would be relieved if it was something maybe less serious. That would be great. I did do some Googling, which is why you should never do Googling about medical things. And it did mention that one of the admittedly rare side effects of the blood thinner she is on can be vasculitis. So I would definitely want to see a doctor and check, because she's having some symptoms that are a bit weird, and she's gone so much stuff. I also don't think she ever spoke to her doctor about all her supplements. She said she needed to, but it didn't look like she was going to. And a lot of supplements can, like vitamin E, she's taking multivitamins, she's taking a lot of things. They can have reactions with the medication she's on. Like I said, I did a little bit of Googling. Dr. Google isn't a great source, but I did a little bit of Googling. She needs to have that conversation urgently, because it could just be something she's taking on the supplement side is interacting with something she's taken on the prescribed medicine side. It could be a side effect that's nothing to do with the supplement interaction. It could be something completely new. We don't know, and she needs to talk to somebody who can find out. And she was like, oh, well, the doctor's saying 2 different things. And you're like, yes, they are. But one of them was saying that after seeing the symptoms in person in the moment, and one of them saying that days later as you're describing it over the phone or the screen or whatever it is you were talking to her over. It wasn't in person and it wasn't in the moment. And given how many health concerns she has, I'd be more inclined to be like, let's treat this more seriously until we have proof that it's not as serious. I think that would have been a more sensible idea. So the live lunch she did after the Beezing, boxes are leaving. I'm glad to see they did. She was having stomach issues that she said was definitely not the massive portion of mac and cheese she just finished. She was like, it doesn't happen in 2 minutes. It'd actually been 15 or 20 minutes since she's eaten that she started running to the bathroom. She went 3 times during that stream. It does happen within 15, 20 minutes, especially if it's food that's going to trigger issues with your stomach. So she does do kind of the most acrobatic movement she does is when she's trying to reason her way out of why a bodily function issue she's having is not related to the massive amount of food she eats. And that was a good example. She did a Lush haul, which is fine. I think it's a waste of money we did break down the Lush haul and the cost versus the reward last time she did one. She thought she had cancelled it. Apparently she hadn't. How do you not know nearly $100 is going out of your account? Who knows? And she did have a Colourpop order with the She's All That palette. I'd love to see her do more beauty stuff. I really would. It'd be another avenue for her channel that I would really enjoy watching, genuinely enjoy watching. I love makeup stuff. That's why I've been including more makeup stuff on my channel. Yeah, that was pretty much all. She had lunch, she had to get off because she kept needing the bathroom. And that leads us to today. That is what we were dealing with this week. Jesus Christ, you guys. This is now 20 minutes long. I think I'm probably going to post this as its own video, and then we'll just do a react to the new one. But yeah, guys, it was a lot. It was a Tale of Two Chantals continued. She didn't show her ass quite as much in the lives as she did the previous week. Was it only a week ago? It feels like generations. But she was more aware of what she was doing in the lives, and she was trying really hard this week to kind of pave over a few of the cracks that had surfaced in her channel recently. So we're gonna see where this goes. I'm gonna react to the other video. I can't remember if I said this earlier or not because I had to do a few retakes at the beginning of this, but my makeup today is a new, speaking of makeup and wanting to see more beauty content, is a new palette I have called Club Nebula from Kaleidos. I'm going to have a 3 looks 1 palette video up either today or tomorrow if you are interested in different content. But it's there anyway. I'm going to end this, I'm going to put it up, and we will get into the react in the next video. See you soon, teacups.